Hello, hope you're well. Who doesn't love a yummy cinnamon roll? Look at that thing. I mean, if we can make it look like that today, that would be amazing. But today we're doing a 2-minute cinnamon roll, a 20-minute cinnamon roll, and a 2-hour cinnamon roll in the attempt to see which one is best versus cost, effort, and all that kind of timey stuff. And also if it's better just going to the shops and getting your own. Let's get going. All right, so in order for us to have a level playing field at the end when it comes to taste tests, so they all finish roughly at the same time, we're gonna start with the one that tastes the longest first, which involves a homemade enriched dough. Oh. So here is 180 milliliters of milk. I've gone for full fat because, hey, we're not really being that healthy today, and I don't mind that. And it's worth noting, where possible today, cheers, Mike. I'm going to try and make the recipes as close as I can as possible. There will be some variations, which of course will make it interesting. I mean, if I did 3 that were the same, there'd literally be no point, right? But this first one is actually an enriched dough. So with the milk and the butter, there's lots of fats going on, okay? Because effectively what we want to try and do is make a big old carpet. So that's strong bread flour, some sugar. It's got an egg to one side here. Shell is optional. But this is an enriched dough. The yeast is what it's really relying on. It's looking very unmixed and fairly dry. So let's get that melted butter and warm milk in there. If you've got an electric mixer or a stand mixer with dough hooks, 100% use that. I'm gonna do that today, no spatula at all. But this video today is not really about effort that much. Like, this is quite simple. The dough is nearly done. It's more like, can you be bothered to wait over 2 hours for these ones, or will the other ones just give you that quick fix that you want? A little tacky, but that's fine. You can handle it with your hands, shape it quite well if you want, but that is the dough done. I mean, to be fair, that bowl is so clean you could leave it in this, or put it in a clean one to rise for at least 90 minutes. We need 90 minutes, but the rest of the recipes take so quick, I can actually just concentrate on the filling that we'll try and use for all 3 recipes. It is actually quite a weird one today because the second recipe, which takes 20 minutes, is probably the one that is the easiest out of the 3. But all of them are gonna have a cinnamon sugar filling. This is the thing, I can't really start that second one until our dough is almost ready because it's just so quick. So I'm just gonna break these bits down, but that in effect is probably the biggest decision we've got to make today, taste over time. But we're effectively just making a cinnamon sandpit. It's been 90 minutes, ready to see something cool? Check that out. Absolutely bonkers, it's nearly reached the top of the bowl. You can see the yeast working away in there, and it's not done yet. Why do I wanna smell it? I really wanna smell it. I smelt it, and it smells of yeast. But it's still really easy to handle. It's a little bit like our glow-in-the-dark lemon meringue pie the other day. It's got that sort of buttery, eggy hue to it. It's like a slightly lightly yellow color. That is really nice though. So now we're gonna basically turn it into the carpet. So this is probably a touch overkill, but I'm gonna just use this as a rough guide. This is the size of my pan because it's one of my liners. So I actually find that using a pizza cutter is pretty handy. That looks like the store-bought stuff. Like, remember this, okay? This might be straighter than the stuff we get from that, probably won't. But anyhow, let's slather. What a word, slather. In this bowl, I have some butter, and I know you should really use a knife, but there's something quite nice about using a teaspoon. I mentioned this the other day in the supermarket, I saw some chocolate butter. I really want to buy that, and part of me would love to have put that on this, but I've never used it before. I'd imagine it would be like this big brown block. So a little bit like an arts and crafts project. If this was glue and you shove glitter on, we're gonna do the same with our cinnamon sand. So let's shimmy it down. Oh yeah, that'll do nicely. I'm actually really happy with that. Now we roll. Take the shorter edge and then start to gather it up. And then as the momentum starts to build, okay, I'm gonna keep going all the way. So it might go off camera even though my battery's about to die. Oh, perfect timing. All right, let's just get to there. And it's sat on that crease, okay? Let me change my battery. We've got this edge where I can't really roll up straight, but you tend to always get that anyway. And I'm just gonna give myself some markers along here just to give me a bit of guidance. Okay, and if we just confidently cut through it like that, you see, we have got a cinnamon roll. But that is not ready yet. I mean, I know we need to bake it, but there's another step. So yeah, basically, we've got to leave them, again, for another half an hour. I really hope this wait is going to be worth it. Nearly there with these now. We talked about how with the enriched dough, we're getting like that sort of soft, fluffy, like bready texture. But with a laminated dough from a store-bought puff pastry, which is basically our 20-minute one, obviously this is a laminated dough. It's sort of flakier and puffier and crispier. Indeed, it's all about those like pockets of butter as you fold it over that the steam will help rise it, versus more of the dense dough that we've made. But you can't really buy, I mean, you can buy short crust pastry, like ready-made, so if you wanted to rush that, but there will be a definite difference between these two. But this, I mean, we're already at the rolling out step straight away. How simple is that? But this one, when we made homemade puff pastry before, we discovered there was all that butter going in there. Try and find one. This is like an all butter one. So you can actually tell by this one. Sometimes you buy other ones, they're slightly paler. The more butter in there, you tend to get like a better rise, but also like a nicer golden finish. But that's just one thing I've found. If you ever go store-bought puff pastry, try and find an all butter one, okay? It's random that we're actually spreading more butter onto the buttery puff pastry. So again, just like before, we're gonna take our cinnamon sugar. You've just saved so much time by just jumping to the ready-made stuff. But there really is a massive difference if you make your own from scratch. We've done pan au chocolates and sausage rolls on the channel before. Actually talking about it really makes you wanna do another one soon, maybe croissants or something. I feel like I'm doing one of those things, you know, like on like a business executive's desk. It's like a very stereotypical, they've got like a little mini sand pit with a rake. And I will say that sugar is wanting to fall out a little bit more, but these are way smaller. That's one of these spare offcuts that I had. I put it on this tray for reference. Look, let me put it next to it. We'll try and push it down a little bit just to kind of link it together a teeny bit. I'm even gonna add, just in the middle here, two of the ends, squishing them down. Might as well use them. Randomly though, the cost of that puff pastry sheet, plus if you take into account the sugar and the butter, is pretty much identical to making those lovely homemade ones. All right, so back to our ones made from scratch. I have actually started to tuck the tails in, so they've had probably about 40 minutes rested now. So what you do is just like lift it under and just press it slightly like that. I'm gonna leave one just to show you. I've just gently tucked them underneath like that and given it a little press again, just to kind of stop that tail like flailing back and forth. So let's bake. And they are gonna be baked separately. The puff pastry ones are in the fridge for about 5 minutes less, so I was gonna actually put them on the same tray, but if I did that, it could affect how well they bake, so we'll get those in next. Oh my word. Oh, that color is amazing. Right, these go in for about 15 minutes. Oh, that tail there in particular, the one that we didn't tuck in, has unfurled. They can stay on there for the moment. Our clock is ticking because our second ones are baking, so it's time to move on to the last one. They smell absolutely out of this world. This one is going to be a little bit more hands-on, especially compared to this second one, because we need to make the dough for our mug. So we're going to get a mixing bowl with some strong bread flour in again, but plain flour would be fine. Sugar, this time some baking powder, some milk, and some melted butter. Now if we mix that all together, we might be able to get a little mini ball that we can shape into another carpet. It's a very similar texture actually. After all that, you can just shove it in a mug, and that's kind of like the point of this one. Is this gonna just give us that quick cinnamon roll fix? This is cool. Like a cinnamon roll for one, right? So this worked pretty well last time. I'm not gonna use my baking sheet. I'm gonna try and do it roughly, just to give us a little bit. There we go. The mini dough carpet. So that one again gets spread. And yes, some of our sand, probably about a tablespoon of that is enough. I actually do like the simplicity of this one. We just bunged it in a bowl and just played around with it. Rolling it through. Awesome. We'll sit it in there. Just let it sit upright like that. It looks like we should actually make another one to shove it in there, but I mean, it should increase, shouldn't it? There'll only be one way to find out, and we'll find that out very soon. I can always make another one. So as these cool on a wire rack, our puff pastry ones come out. Wow. Not a bad color, but a completely different texture. But there we go. You can actually see the benefit of that puff pastry, the all butter one. Some real mixes of shape and sizes. Some of the outsides are puffed up, some of the centers are puffed up, some are perfect. We've got some flaying tails. I mean, ultimately, a lot like a cake, when we dump the icing on it, it'll cover it anyway. Just before we bung that thing in a microwave, I'm going to call it a thing, all right? Let's just go with it. We have got some cream cheese and icing sugar here. So I'm actually just going to push that gently together. Otherwise, if I get a little bit too excited, it is going to go all over the camera. Now would be a really bad time to sneeze. We really want that contrast of the vibrant white creamy cheese glaze hitting those golden baked goods. Now we can just add a little bit of flavor, so some vanilla extract. Oh, gosh. It's going to be very nice indeed. Right, let's microwave. All right, here we go. So roughly 70 seconds, 800 watts. Get that going. And meanwhile, I've set up a station, so we've got the wire rack with both the other ones sat on there, tray underneath to catch any of the extra cream cheese glaze that could drip off. We can drizzle it, we can dump it. Oh, just gonna enjoy it. It smells like it's actually baking. This is bizarre. Oh my word. Look. It's gonna be like chewy, I think. Which would you rather have? You know, I was saying earlier how like glaze kind of hides most things. Yeah. Just do a little close up. We've got our original ones and the puff pastry ones. And I'm just gonna drizzle, just really randomly up and down these. It should grip to it. It's runny, but we've got enough on there just for it to bite and stay there. You see what I was saying about how icing can suddenly make something look really awesome? All right, so I think this one here is where we'll go to town on it and completely cover it and let it sort of seep in. You could put some cinnamon in with the icing too if you wanted. You know, a compromise could be you've gone one way, so you could go the other way too, and maybe a little thicker. Just, it's completely up to you. Like literally play with your food. But to be honest, now that's settled, I think that looks amazing. But let's not let those have all the fun. This is still quite warm. Let's see if we can actually improve the look of our 2-minute one. I'm going to completely coat that one because that will, with it being so warm, find its way. So there we go, 2 hour, 20 minute and 2-minute cinnamon rolls. I love lining them up like that. It took me blooming ages to balance them, but what a difference. Visually, texture, and ultimately taste. Let's find out. I feel like we need to start with the 2-minute one. It feels really firm. Here we go. Well, it's definitely cooked it and given it that spiral look. Yeah, it's all right. The flavor of the dough, you're really getting like the buttery vibes with it, and combined with that glaze, it's really nice. It's just a little bit too like gummy, but also firm in places. It's a very confused little cinnamon roll, that one. But let's jump to the second one, the puff pastry. Oh, like a Danish pastry, like bakery vibe going on. The golden crunch, the flakiness, the airiness in that pastry, but within that, our sugar, cinnamon, sand has fused together and lightly caramelized. So it's kind of got this very gentle, chewy texture to it, which is fusing all of those bands together. It's soft, it's buttery, it's flaky. I really like that. That's really nice. But here is our homemade one. Here we go. Oh. Texture. That's what you want. That soft, pillowy texture we were talking about with that enriched dough. You have got that. It's all in there. You're not getting that caramelized look with the puff pastry. That sort of fused it all together. This is all sort of separate individual bands, but with a sprinkling of the flavor with every bite that you take, and then the glaze on top, which of course was on that one. But you're noticing this one more as like individual elements. It tastes way fresher. The flavor's like more evenly balanced. This is like much more butter heavy. I know I said about the all butter puff pastry, but just in general, it tasted like a cinnamon chewy buttery stick, but in a good way. This, even that central column, you can see the sprinkling of the cinnamon sugar all around it where it's stuck there. And it's almost like it knows its role. It's like, yep, I'm here, this is what I'm doing. Whereas in here, it was kind of like a free-for-all going, hey, let's turn into caramel. This thing, well, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe in an emergency, play around with it. I can maybe take 10 seconds off to make it slightly less firm in places. But in other places, it was only just cooked. Oh, if you like this video, I did something recently involving chocolate cake, so I'll leave a link to that. And I'm kind of in like two minds. I'm either really, really disappointed because I'm always a champion for having like the lazy, easy one working, but at the same time, all of that effort combined into the taste really did make that the absolute true standout winner today, the enriched dough. Take your time. It wasn't that much effort. I would almost say it was almost as much effort as the 2-minute one. If you're in a rush, if you're having something in isolation, the 20-minute will 100% get you by, but it's a completely different taste experience with the flaky puff pastry in there. Go for that soft dough because these are just big jumbo islands of deliciousness that I really want you to try. So I'll type up all 3 of the recipes. If you try any of them, send me a picture. I'd love to see how you get on. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. No, that is gonna literally like snap my front teeth out.